Hey guys, so you know how I normally do things. I start at the right and I go to the left. So let's start at the first door to the right. Hiya! Alright, so what we have here is the Wind Temple, and I'm going to cut some of this unnecessary stuff out. So bear with me as my editing is probably going to be pretty apparent.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be like pre-boss puzzles, and these aren't terribly difficult to figure out. If you've been through the level, then this is going to be pretty easy for you, so you can just watch how I get through it, and there you have it. So I'm sure you remember this boss. This is Mulgara, and basically what you need for this boss is your hook shot, and that's about it. Your hook shot and your sword. So you know the drill. The tongue is where you obviously want to strike the guy, and beware of these little spawns and come out of the sand. And really the hardest part of this boss is being able to Z-target on his tongue because of all those spawns. So I've actually edited a bunch of that out because it's really unnecessary and takes up time. Curse you, spawns. So we're off to our next boss and our next victim. Right off the bat, you can tell that this is the Earth Temple section, so that vase and that vase, you're going to want to not destroy those vases. Come back for them. It's going to make your life a lot easier. I usually just try to tuck and roll my way through here. That way I don't have to get hit a whole bunch of times, and if you time it just right, you can make it through there. At the top of the stairs, you're going to find a switch. If you stand on that switch, it's going to drop the stairs down the next hallway, but if you step off the switch, it's going to let up on those stairs, so that you're going to need to go back and grab the vase and put it on that trigger. I usually take care of this first hallway just because the re-deads can scare you, and when they do, you drop your vase and it breaks. So take this vase up here to the switch and lay it on there.
Sick.
take the second vase and put it with the first, and then head down the next hallway. These are the stairs that are created with the first vase on the switch, and at the top of the stairs is another switch. That's where you're going to need the second vase from. Now you can see the purple chews down here. If you happen to destroy your vases, what you're going to have to do is take those chews, turn them into stone, and use them as your weights. Of course, these vases are really nice because they won't animate and move off the switches. Don't feel obligated to have to defeat all the enemies, because it's not necessary. You can go straight up to the boss room and get in to see the boss. Target this guy while, this is Jaw Hollow by the way, if you Z-target him while you're shining your shield, you'll automatically shine it on him. I don't know why I never do that, but, and then of course I use my hurricane spin to take out a bunch of these guys. That always helps. Where the boss gets a little bit trickier, and you're in these light places, and then these beams of light disappear. Of course, if he does land on you and you become confused, all of your movements are mirrored. So as you can see, I'm having to direct myself backwards. And then yeah, so that's the hardest part about this portion of the boss, is that these beams of light don't last very long. So you got to be real quick. So this is the Forbidden Woods, and you're going to have to use your leaf. This is going to seem really familiar to you, to get these platforms over. This is all platforming, and use your leaf as a propel, like to propel yourself forward. And you jump onto these ledges. So the next one is a little bit, yeah. So just check it out. Jump to the platform that moves up, because when it is up, that's how you can make it over to the farthest ledge. Yep. this for me is like the easiest boss ever. I can get him, like I was looking at my time for this portion of the video, it was like a minute. So he's real simple. You just cut him down from the ceiling with your boomerang. It's really the only thing you need other than your sword. And if you get enough hits on him when he's down on the ground, you can get him in one shot. So let's see here. So that leaves us with one more major boss, and that is Ghoma from the volcano, what we had seen on the Dragon Roost Island portion of the games. So this is actually, for me, for some reason, people may think this is pretty funny, but this is one of the harder bosses for me. So first of all, I use my boomerang to find the skulls, whatever, see, I'm pretty sure it's the skull. If that is like a, what's called a bubble, it's kind of not a frightening name or anything, but if that's one of those flaming skulls, as you can see, my boomerang didn't destroy it, therefore that's one of these bubble things, so you can like kill it with your arrow, and that's a real quick, easy way to figure out whether or not it's something you should shoot with your arrow. So as you can see, there's another one over there. When you're trying to get across this lava, it's going to make your life so much easier to destroy those things. How the developers of this game had intended for you to use the grappling hook is to swing across and then use your leaf to fly over to the island in the lava. There's two of them there. And I always use my grappling hook to just climb on top so I can stand and aim myself, and then I kind of jump down and use my leaf, as you can see here. And that always seems to be a lot easier for me, and that's how I make it all the way across. Plus, now you can use your boomerang to find any more of the bubbles, and you can just stand up there and it's just so much more nicer. I'm going to turn around here. As you can see, those little islands have disappeared. Once you land on them, they don't last for very long, so you have to get off them real quick. But you just can run and jump off this, use your leaf, and you'll make it every single time. If you're playing through this game as like a regular quest, you're not going to be able to take a picture of Ghoma here in the very beginning because you won't have your deluxe picto box. As you can see, I'm carrying it in my hand right now. I have edited this boss a whole bunch because I had tried to take pictures of him while I was here. This is the only time you can get his picture. So please excuse my poor editing. I just didn't want you guys to have to see me take a whole bunch of pictographs of this guy. One of the hardest parts of this boss for me is the fact that he's very quick about using his claws on you, and you're trying to hook Valu's tail, and in the time it takes your grappling hook to get all the way up to Valu's tail, he's probably striking you, and that's the hardest part of this boss for me, is I usually end up running around in a circle. If you can manage to get on one of those platforms, you can pretty much stay up there through the whole boss and be not disturbed. If he does manage to breathe fire on you, then you're going to lose your platforms. So this is actually the time to Tuvalu's tails when he's breathing his fire, because that's when he's preoccupied with trying to kill you. Of course, I waste my platform opportunities because I was too busy trying to get his picture. But as you will notice on your game, at that point he's lifting up the roof back up to the top, and then he's cracking and his exoskeleton is breaking off. Now that his, technically what should be his hardest form is actually his easiest form. It's pretty much just grab his eyeball and slash. So, time to take care of this guy. I'm completely confident that this part of the game is gonna be easy for you guys. Now that we have completed all of our bosses again, it's time to go into Gannons Tower.